Hello preppers, welcome to Goshen Prepping. Congratulations! Over 70% of Americans are at least overweight. 40% are obese. And maybe you fit in this category. I know I did. Well, actually, technically, I still do. I've lost 60 pounds, but I definitely still need to lose some more weight. But I'm going to show you what I've done, and I'm going to reveal to you the recipe, exactly what you can do if you want to lose weight. And it's not just keto. I know we've talked about a lot in the channel, but I'm actually going to start this really simple series of a whole bunch of things that I've incorporated in my life. And it's, of course, it's based on medicine, because I am a doctor, and showing you ways that it's actually a good way and a healthy way to get in shape. Now, I don't do this simply just because you want to get in shape, because we have to be ready in case crap hits the fan. And it seems to be crap is going to hit the fan. But even if crap doesn't hit the fan, it's still a very good idea to do this, obviously, because it's going to greatly increase your quality of life. Ultimately, this series of videos is going to take you step by step in things you can focus on, one little thing at a time, and be ready to, well, whatever may come your way. But either way, I just want to give you a kind of quick heads up. Doing this isn't just about losing weight. It's about having an amazing quality of life. All right, the first thing of all the attributes we're going to look at is nutrition. First off, you need to understand the American Medical Association is not focused on nutrition, not at all. They literally lobbied to Congress to make it so the doctor in the United States, the doctor that basically presides over everything, is focused on drugs and surgery. And the drugs and surgery, of course, come into play after the damage is already done. So why would they want to put out things about nutrition? They wouldn't, because it's going to reduce the amount of clientele coming in their office. I know it's horrible to look at it that way, but you know what? They want to get paid and get paid handsomely. And a lot of this nutrition, so to speak, or it could even say bad nutrition, is a lot of it's from the grocery store. I mean, it's twofold. I mean, some of the stuff in the grocery store is decent food for you. I'm not saying great food. Okay. And some of it is just plain garbage. The decent food, of course, would be like fruits and veggies. But you have to understand that there's a problem in fruits and veggies also. Because American farms, more than likely the veggies you're getting from, actually maybe from another country, but if they're from the United States, inside your grocery store, they're probably come from a farm that's been farming for decades and decades and decades. And there's certain minerals and elements and stuff in that ground that will actually go up into the veggie. So when you eat the veggie, you're actually getting your essential minerals and vitamins you need. But the problem is since it's been farmed for decades and decades and decades, it's well depleted from those minerals and elements and such, vitamins and minerals. They're basically gone. So even though eating vegetables and such from your grocery store is still good for you because it's a lot of fiber, it's not a lot of sugar content, et cetera, that's really good for you, you still may not be getting all the essential minerals and vitamins that you need. And that's why in a later video, we'll talk more about some of the supplements you might want to take basically to, fill in the gaps that you're not getting from the grocery store. But I'll be honest with you. The vegetables, that's the small part. The majority of the food in the grocery store, if you want to call it food, really is just garbage. And the biggest problem with this garbage food is simply for the fact that it's processed. It's processed. Now, the whole thing about processed food, the reason it began was trying to get food to the cities and making it so it had a long shelf life to last longer, to finally sell it to the consumer, because the last thing a grocery store wants is the food to go bad in the grocery store because, of course, that's wasted money. So it started off with simply just a way to preserve food. And as time went on, it wasn't just about being processed, making the food last longer, but they noticed that some of those preservative agents actually had an addictive quality to it. Have you ever had that before? We're not even talking about grocery store food, mind you. It could be like a fast food restaurant. Maybe you haven't been to this restaurant in forever. We'll just pick on one just out of random. We'll say it's a Big Mac. Sounds good, right? And so you're like, I haven't had a Big Mac in 23 years. And why not? I'm out in the town. I got a deal. Maybe you get one for free or 50 cents, whatever. Anyways, I don't know how much a Big Mac is. You go in and get your Big Mac. I'm sure it's more than 50 cents. And you eat it. And while you're eating it, you're probably like, I forgot about this amazing taste. Because the fast food restaurants, of course, they want to make the food taste amazingly delicious. It doesn't actually taste wholesome delicious, you know what I'm saying? But it definitely has a lot of those flavors in it. You're like, oh, wow, what a great combination they nailed on here. But since they actually have those specific additives in there, it gives it an addictive quality. So even though after you ate your Big Mac, you're like, oh, my stomach is killing me, give it about 10 hours later, the next day, you'll be like, I really want to go get another Big Mac. Have you ever had that happen before? And if it's not a Big Mac, then fill in the blank. Because even when it comes to like buying things from your grocery store, boxed food, certain canned food, especially frozen food, you'll eat it. And next thing you know, you want to eat that thing almost every day because there's actually preservative agents that have addictive qualities in there. And so when you put it in there, you want to keep buying it more and more. And now suddenly, of course, that's what does a food seller want? They want you to keep buying more of their food. Okay, it's addicting. That's what they do. But it's beyond simply just that addictive qualities because that's bad too. Again, also beyond simply just making you feel like garbage because it will. It'll completely make you feel like garbage. Medically speaking, that food, well-preserved food, is known to cause insulin spikes. And those insulin spikes are one of the main causes leading to type 2 diabetes. Not to mention massive amounts of inflammation. Okay, you will feel literally bloated in pain because of the inflammation from that food you're eating. This is grocery store food, mind you, because people say, oh, you need to actually just stop eating out and go to the grocery store and buy like the Hungry Man Jack dinners. I forgot what those things even called, the TV dinners. Are they Hungry Jacks? You start eating those TV dinners, it's just as bad. In fact, I would say in a lot of ways it's worse because at least some fast food restaurants try to use some non-preserved food now. This is great. A whole line starting up again like Jimmy John's. I think it's delicious stuff. Okay, so now here's the thing. You ready for this? You have this inflammation now. You're feeling like garbage because the last 3 days you've been eating frozen mac and cheese, Salisbury steak dinners, whatever it is from the grocery freezer. And you're like, oh, I don't feel very well. And you know what? I got to eat it again today. If you're not feeling well, you have inflammation, everything else happening, are you going to say, you know what? I got to stop eating that food? No, you don't think about that because you're like temporarily addicted to it. You're going to say, you know what? I'm just going to have another frozen dinner, frozen chicken dinner with mashed potatoes and applesauce. So you eat that, grab it from the bag or your fast food, either one, and the cycle restarts all over again. Eat the garbage, feel like garbage. Next meal, since you feel like garbage, you don't feel like bringing any more food, nothing healthy anyway, so you eat more garbage. And next thing you know, every single one of the meals you eat comes from some kind of bag or container from the grocery store or again from your fast food restaurant. Now, if that weren't enough, let's add on to this. In addition, the food industry over time realized that one of the best things they could do to get people to eat their food wasn't just preservatives, it was sugar. Let's pack these things full of sugar. Even in things you never would have even considered possibly having sugar in it now, they have sugar. Now, in our mouth, we have enzymes that starts breaking down our food. And one of the first enzymes that's actually released is called lingual lipase. Lipase breaks down lipids. It actually produces a chemical, an enzyme called lecithin. And if you eat something that has like some fatty content to it, let's say you're biting into a steak, I mean, obviously there's proteins there too, but that fat in there will start being broken down by your lingual lipase, and it will start oozing onto your tongue, especially the sides of your tongue. And that's actually where most of your taste buds are, by the way, on the side of your tongue. And you'll start doing gargling noises like, oh, this steak is delicious. Okay. You ever had that before? A nice, delicious steak? Sure. Now, in this situation, you would think that you want to keep going for that lingual lipase effect and actually having it so you crave eating meaty and fatty foods. And in fact, I do. I like that kind of stuff. And that sensation that you're striving for is called umami, by the way. You know, some people actually have a sweet tooth. I have what's called an umami tooth. Umami is a Japanese word. It means like savory, like gravy. That's like the things I kind of crave. And honestly, with a keto diet, I mentioned that before, it's something that you do want to go for because it is something that's actually very healthy for humans. Unfortunately, however, another enzyme that's released in your mouth is called alpha amylase. And amylase breaks down carbohydrates because often we'll eat carbohydrates in a double-connected disaccharide form, and we have to break it apart. And when we do, we can actually enjoy, not really savory, but the sweet tooth part of it. And it's a good method because it breaks it down so you can absorb that sugar quickly. Because understand, if you actually eat like a piece of candy, instead of actually sucking on it for 10 minutes, you just swallow it. Obviously, that sugar is going to make it in your bloodstream, obviously. But it's going to take upwards of 15 minutes for that to happen. But if you keep it in your mouth, the alpha amylase will break it down, and as it goes underneath your tongue, it'll be absorbed in your bloodstream instantly. And that's actually a really good mechanism for humans. In case you do have a low blood sugar, you can actually like just suck on some icing or like grape jelly or something like that and swish it in your mouth, and the amylase will break it down. You'll absorb it in your bloodstream. It'll raise your blood sugar up very quickly. It's obviously your life depends on making sure your blood sugar stays where it's supposed to be. So that's a great thing. But what happens is, as the alpha amylase is really breaking it down, it can also go to the side of your tongue, and you're saying like, oh my gosh, this amazing, sweet tasting thing, that is some tasty, good stuff. Especially if you're a sweet tooth. I'm not much of a sweet tooth. My wife, she has lots of sweet teeth, and she loves all the sugary stuff, and it's the stuff that's obviously very, very bad for you. Sugar is really bad for you if you didn't know. But when it comes to food companies, just like the American Medical Association, they don't really care about what's good for you or bad for you. They just want to make a buck. And so over time, all these different types of foods you would think would never have sugar, because in the past they never did have sugar, now have sugar. We literally inadvertently picked up a pack of chicken breast, and as we pulled it out of the freezer, it says, one of the ingredients is sugar on chicken breast, because that company knows if they douse it with a little bit of sugar and you eat it, you'll be like, whoa, I really like this chicken from this company. They must have some healthy Leghorns we cut. No, it's the sugar they put on there. Really bad stuff. And the sugar itself actually prevents problems that's twofold. First off, it simply makes it so, again, it only goes in your stomach and lasts about 15 minutes. So if you eat nothing but sugar, no fats, no proteins, 15 minutes later, you're hungry again. Okay, it simply just doesn't stay with you. It doesn't satisfy you. It is not well satiated in your diet. So you're hungry. So what do? You eat something else. And again, with the American diet, you eat something that's more sugary. And then, of course, it spikes you up again. Half hour later, oh, I'm hungry again. And this is why we constantly find in the United States, the hunger factor is going way up, because people eat nothing but this crap, garbage, carb stuff. Okay, and you'll find this with people, by the way. Ask around, find a friend, maybe it's you, and you won't admit it, and they like McDonald's. I'm just picking on one restaurant, but they're all the same. And they'll say, yeah, it was really weird. I started out, I would often just get like a cheeseburger. Then over time, now I get a cheeseburger with fries. And then next thing you know, you're getting like large sized or super, I don't think they have super sized anymore, but super sized food. I get the double cheeseburger with large fries, and then you step it up to a Big Mac with large fries. And now they have all these deals at McDonald's of buy one, get one free, quarter pounders with large fries with a giant Coke that's all you can drink while you're there. And you're basically stuffing your face now with apple pies and McFlurries, all these other things there too. And it's amazing how you were satisfied before with just a cheeseburger. But the addictive quality and the sugar part makes it so it doesn't stick with you. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh, last time I ate one cheeseburger and it didn't stick with me. This time I should eat a cheeseburger and fries. Next time I should eat 2 cheeseburgers and fries. Next time a quarter pounder, and it escalates. So as it escalates even more, and this also applies to your grocer's freezer. You may be happy with one little pot pie, but after 20 minutes, 30 minutes, a half hour, an hour, you're like, that pot pie is not satisfying anymore, so I'm going to step up to 2 pot pies next time for dinner. Maybe 3 pot pies, or maybe like the giant pot pie if they sell those. And the list goes on and on. It's not about the quantity of food, it's the quality of food. In other words, the sugar that's in there. So that's the first problem. Because it doesn't satisfy you, you will eat more, even for that one meal, thinking it's going to last longer, but it won't. It's not going to last longer in your stomach. But the second thing is it spikes your blood glucose levels. So what we see in people who have type 2 diabetes, because this is, by the way, the number one cause for type 2 diabetes, they will eat some kind of garbage food in America. You name it, there's tons of it. It spikes their glucose levels to try to take care of all those carbs that came in. Then it drops back down. An hour later, you're hungry again. So you eat something good like a piece of steak? No, you eat more carbs, spikes it up again. Another hour or two later, you're hungry again. And it keeps going up and down, up and down, up and down. And as you continuously have these spikes in glucose, spikes of insulin, all these things happen in your body, it leads to resistance. So you will actually not have the ability to regulate the glucose into your cells themselves specifically. That is the American diet in a nutshell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you this, because I've had many followers say, can you please tell me more on how I can actually try to get in shape? Because obviously we want to be in shape in case crap hits the fan, but also just simply having a general quality of life. Because when I actually did away with carbs altogether, Ashley and I did, all that inflammation disappeared. I was having low blood sugar levels all the time, where I'd always eat like little mints to try to keep my blood sugar up. All of that's gone now. I don't deal with any low blood sugar problems anymore. I was heading toward type 2 diabetes. I could have been there already, who knows? My blood pressure is up. It's now back down to normal again. I have far more energy now than I ever had. I mean, probably going back to my military days. I feel amazing. And the best part about it is I'm not hungry anymore. Look, there are some people who do very well munching on veggies all day long, and that's what they do. They're big veggie eaters. I like vegetables, but I like steamed vegetables and things like that, which actually does what? Brings out the carbs and the sugars and actually breaks it down for you. Like if you eat a raw carrot, it's good for you. Steamed carrots, not so good for you because it's simply releasing a lot of carbs in your bloodstream, just like if you're actually eating almost sugar. Obviously, it's not as bad as sugar, clearly. But anyway, if you are in this boat, if you actually are dealing with this situation, the first thing I would ask you to do, and I know this is tough, put it in the comments below. Let everybody know you deal with this too. Because you know what? 70% or more of Americans are dealing with this issue. Over 70%, it's like 72% now, are dealing with this. You are not alone. So if you can put in the comments below that you're dealing with this, at least other people who are dealing with this too they'll realize they're not alone too. But the second thing I'm going to ask you to do, as I put more of these videos out, by the way, let's work on this together. Like I said, I need to lose a little bit more weight myself. So let's do this together as a team. Let's help each other out. So I want to set a goal for you. Okay, I want you to set the goal. Try to go a week. Try to go 1 week, that's it, by not eating anything processed. No fast food, no TV dinners, none of that garbage at all. Go look at the ingredients. It's really simple. Let's say you want hamburger patties at the grocery store, and it says ingredients, beef and salt. That's good. I mean, the salt is a preservative, but it's not like the other preservatives we talk about. Look at the ingredients. You will find more of the wholesome foods because they actually have lot less ingredients on there. So I give you, please do this, guys, a goal for 1 week of not eating processed foods. And the thing is, you may actually make 1 day and you're like, it's not changing me. 2 days, it's not changing me. By the end of the week, though, it takes a few days for that stuff to get out of your system. You will notice some serious changes in your life and you'll start losing weight and you'll start feeling better. And then you'll realize that was the problem the whole time. The problem is not our doctor trying to fix us. The problem is our nutrition in the first place. But again, there's more. So we're going to have more videos coming out in this series to help you out. But by all means, let's help each other out. Let's put stuff in the comments below. Thanks for watching.